In August 1945, Japan was already standing on the edge of collapse. Its navy was shattered, its cities were burning from relentless air raids, and its people were exhausted after years of total war. Yet inside Tokyo, the Japanese leadership still believed the war could be prolonged. They hoped that if they fought hard enough, the Allies might negotiate instead of demanding unconditional surrender. Then on August 6th, everything changed. At 8:15 in the morning, a single American bomber appeared over the city of Hiroshima. There was no massive formation, no warning of a large-scale attack. Moments later, a blinding flash lit up the sky, followed by a shockwave unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. In seconds, an entire city was erased. At first, the Japanese High Command did not understand what had happened. Communication with Hiroshima was suddenly lost. Reports were confused and contradictory. Some believed it was another conventional bombing raid. Others suspected a fuel depot explosion or a massive firestorm. The idea that a single bomb could destroy an entire city was almost impossible to accept. As fragments of information reached Tokyo, disbelief turned into unease. Military scientists were sent to investigate. Survivors arriving from Hiroshima spoke of a single flash, unbearable heat, and destruction stretching as far as the eye could see. Entire neighborhoods had vanished. Soldiers who had survived intense bombing campaigns across Japan admitted they had never seen anything like this. Inside government meetings, silence replaced confidence. Japan's leaders now faced a terrifying possibility. The United States had developed a weapon beyond conventional warfare. If Hiroshima was destroyed by one bomb, what would stop the same fate from falling on Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto? Still, even after Hiroshima, the leadership hesitated. Some members of the Supreme War Council argued that the Americans might only possess one such weapon. Others believed the United States was exaggerating its power to force surrender. Hardliners insisted Japan could still fight on, inflicting enough casualties to gain better terms. Then 3 days later, Nagasaki was destroyed. This second atomic strike crushed any remaining illusion that Hiroshima had been an isolated event. Now there was no doubt. The weapon was real, and the United States was willing to use it again. At this moment, the balance inside Japan's leadership finally shifted. For the first time, the unthinkable became unavoidable: surrender. Behind closed doors, senior officials admitted that continued resistance would mean national annihilation. Japan could not defend its cities against a weapon that required no invasion, no prolonged battle, and no warning. Entire populations could be erased in seconds. The psychological impact was devastating. Japan had endured firebombing, naval blockades, and massive military defeats. But the atomic bomb introduced a new reality, a war where survival itself was no longer guaranteed. The traditional belief in endurance, sacrifice, and honor could not protect the nation from complete destruction. At the center of this crisis stood Emperor Hirohito. Until this moment, the emperor had remained largely distant from direct political decisions. Now he broke centuries of tradition and intervened. In private meetings, he expressed a view that shocked hardliners. The war must end to prevent the extinction of the Japanese people. For many military leaders, this was painful and humiliating. Surrender went against everything they had been taught. But the reality of atomic warfare left no alternative. On August 15, 1945, Hirohito addressed the nation in a radio broadcast. His voice, calm and restrained, announced Japan's surrender. For the first time, ordinary citizens heard their emperor speak directly to them, not of victory, but of acceptance and survival. The atomic bomb did not just destroy cities, it destroyed assumptions. It ended the belief that wars could be controlled, limited, or endured indefinitely. It forced Japan's leadership to confront a future where resistance meant extinction. In the aftermath, Japanese officials would later admit that Hiroshima and Nagasaki made continued war impossible, not because Japan lacked courage, but because the rules of warfare had fundamentally changed. The reaction of the Japanese High Command was not immediate panic. It was slow, painful realization. A recognition that the world had entered a new era, one where power could no longer be measured by armies alone, but by the ability to end civilizations in a single moment. Hiroshima marked the end of World War II, but it also marked the beginning of the nuclear age. An age born not from triumph, but from shock, fear, and a decision made when all other options had disappeared.